Hi everybody, this is Dr. Childs, and in today's video you're going to learn a little bit more about how to put together a successful paragraph. A paragraph needs four basic things: a topic sentence, adequate development, unity, and coherence. And in this presentation you'll learn a little bit more about each of these four things. A topic sentence is the main point of that paragraph. It should usually be the first sentence of the paragraph, and it should sum up the main point that you want to convey in that one paragraph. Every topic sentence should clearly support or relate back to your thesis, meaning that you should be able to take a look at the topic sentence of each paragraph, take a look back at the thesis statement, and see the relationship very clearly. The topic sentence should be in your own words. It shouldn't be a quotation. Now, you will probably not be using quotations from outside sources in your narrative essay, but in general, I just want you to keep in mind that the topic sentence has to sum up the main point of each paragraph in your own words, not using a quotation from a source or dialogue from a character. The topic sentence should also not be a question. The topic sentence is like a mini thesis statement for that paragraph. It should not ask a question, it should make a statement. The second thing a good paragraph needs is adequate development. There isn't so much a rule for how many sentences a paragraph should have. You might see a successful paragraph with 3 sentences. You might see a successful paragraph with 10 sentences. It really is just going to vary from paragraph to paragraph. The point is that the paragraph must offer enough support, enough development for the topic sentence. So the standard for whether or not a paragraph is too long or too short isn't just about the length or the number of sentences, but about whether or not the paragraph does what the topic sentence says it's going to do. Knowing how much support, how much development is enough takes a lot of practice as a reader. You kind of have to put yourself in the reader's shoes and ask yourself, does this paragraph adequately tell the reader what I want them to know from the topic sentence? It's better to offer too much support than not enough. So you're better off writing longer paragraphs and then editing them down if need be. It's a good idea to ask for feedback from others, either in a peer workshop or by asking your professor or a writing tutor for help, for feedback as to whether your paragraphs are developed adequately. After you get a little bit more practice as a writer, then you will be able to make these judgments much more easily on your own. As a beginning writer, it's kind of difficult to figure out whether or not you've fleshed out your ideas enough, but with practice, you will become much more proficient at this. Coherence is the third thing that a successful paragraph needs. Coherence means that the ideas in the paragraph are presented in a logical, orderly sequence, meaning that the paragraph flows, that it makes sense to the reader, that the reader doesn't have to stop and try and figure out how the ideas are connected. Coherence in the paragraph helps the reader follow your train of thought. It makes it a lot easier, a lot more user-friendly for the reader. In order to create coherence, you want to arrange your sentences logically, use transitions, and vary sentence structure. You can get some ideas for how to do these things by looking in your handbook or in your textbook. Look up these issues in the index and find some more information about it if you would like to flesh out your knowledge of these strategies. You can also email me and ask me, and I can help you find some resources to help you use transitions better or vary your sentence structure. But when you're revising, just take a look and read back over your paragraphs and ask yourself, does each sentence logically connect to the preceding one and to the following one? Or are there places in the paragraph that jump around unnecessarily? Here is an example of a paragraph that does not have effective coherence. Part of the reason for that is that the topic sentence is not very strong. You notice the first sentence here is just, I have a really old car. The reader doesn't really understand what the point of the paragraph is other than just that the writer has an old car. So the more specific your topic sentence is, the easier it is to maintain coherence. So the paragraph goes, I have a really old car. The fan belt of my car broke when I was on my way home. My friend was having a birthday party. Here's where the coherence starts to go off the rails. So this person's friend was having a birthday party, but did the car break down when the author of this paragraph was on the way home from the birthday party or home from work? Or does the breaking down of the car have no relationship to the birthday party at all? You can't tell for sure based on these sentences, so the coherence is disrupted right there. It was 8 p.m. last night when it started, but I was too late. So now you're starting to figure out that the author, missed the birthday party, possibly because the car was broken down. So the car broke down when the author was coming home from where? We don't know. Lights were on in a house by the side of the road. I needed to make a phone call, so I went to the house. To make a long story short, it ended up costing me over $200. A much more effective way to structure this paragraph would be to have a more specific topic sentence that says something like, my car is so old that it recently broke down and cost over $200 in repair. Then you would want to tell the story chronologically. I was on my way home from work when my car broke down. Lights were on in a house by the side of the road, and so I went to the house to call for help. My friend was having a birthday party that same night that started at 8 p.m., but I was too late for the party. You see how rearranging the sentences, changing them up a little bit, makes the chronology of the story and the point of the story make a lot more sense. Now, the fourth thing that a successful paragraph needs is unity. Unity means that the paragraph has one main point. A paragraph should explain one supporting point at a time, meaning it should not be about 2 or 3 different things. It should have one clear, specific topic sentence, and the whole paragraph should focus on supporting that topic sentence. It should not go off track. It should not introduce unrelated points. When you change subjects or present a new supporting point, then you should go ahead and start a new paragraph. Don't try and do that in the same paragraph. You can revise for unity by comparing each sentence to the topic sentence. Does each sentence fit in that paragraph? Again, the more strong and specific your topic sentence is, the easier it is to revise for unity. Take a look at this paragraph. This is a paragraph that lacks unity. The main point of this paragraph is that horror films are most popular with teens. Now, this is a pretty clear and solid topic sentence. It's very clear about the main point of the paragraph, that horror films are most popular with teens. The second sentence fits. When a new horror film comes out, the theater seats are filled with teens. Adults don't seem to be interested in 2 hours of edge-of-your-seat fear and anxiety, but teens sure are. So why is that part there? Adults don't seem to be interested in 2 hours of edge-of-your-seat fear and anxiety. Does that disrupt the unity? Does that have to do with horror films being popular with teens? Not really. The author is trying to establish a comparison between adults and teens, but it's not really successful. The transitions and the comparison is not set up very well. The author then moves on to say, last week I went to see the sci-fi horror film Alien and got so scared anticipating the alien's attack on the crew that I had to leave the theater. So how does that support the topic sentence? We don't know how old the author is. Is the author a teenager or an adult? So it's a little bit difficult to know how this sentence fits because it isn't specific enough. Children obviously would be too scared at horror films. This sentence obviously doesn't fit. It doesn't have to do with teens. Horror films, with a few exceptions, are just right for teens. Now, the unity for this paragraph could be corrected in a couple of different ways. Some of these sentences could be taken out, like the ones about children or adults. It could be made more clear how old the author is. Why is it relevant that he or she went to see Alien last week and had to leave the theater? This paragraph could also be corrected by changing the topic sentence to something like, horror films are not very popular among adults and children, but teens love them. So by changing the main point of the paragraph to make it clear that you are setting up a comparison between the appeal of horror films to adults, children, and teens, then all this other information would make more sense. So, to sum up, in this video you should have learned that paragraphs need 4 main things: a strong topic sentence, adequate development, unity, and coherence.